Hello, Paul Smith here, and I'm bringing you another day of devotion in the Daily God Walk. And for the month that we're in right now, our devotion is Destroying Strongholds. And that's about how we overcome undesirable behaviors in our life. Not only overcoming the undesirable behaviors, but then developing new behaviors, new patterns of life that are positive, that are reinforcing the Christ life in us, and that are helping us to grow spiritually. Let me read to you the message from today's devotion. It's devotion number 29, and it's simply titled this: I am an ambassador of Christ. It's from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 19 and 20. Let me read that to you. God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting the men's sins against them. And he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. Now, what does it mean to be reconciled to God? Well, it's very similar to the idea of two people who have been estranged, who finally resolve their issues. Now, we know that's the case of man because Paul wrote in Romans and said that the natural man, the carnal man, is at war with God. I think the word he uses, and that's translated into the English, is enmity. We are at enmity. When you're at enmity with somebody, you're always struggling, always trying to get the better of the next person, at enmity with God. And so that's the natural state of man. And God's telling us a few things in this passage. And I'm not going to read the whole devotion, and I'm just going to go for a couple of minutes, but I wanted to kind of whet your appetite to get into this book of Destroying Strongholds, because it will really help you. If you've got areas in your life that you're trying to overcome, this is going to give you some hope and some help. And so here we are being reconciled to God. That means that we who have been separated from God. Our relationship was broken. There was no communication, and we're lost. Well, that's why Christ came, and it is through our faith in Christ that we then become reconciled to God. And in being reconciled to God, we are given a responsibility. This whole devotion is summed up in this one section that's called the Message. Let me read that to you. We who have been reconciled to God have the responsibility to show others how they too may be reconciled to God. All believers have been made ambassadors of Christ, and we are to take the message of being made right with God to the world. That's our calling. If you are a believer, you are called to be an ambassador of Christ. Somebody says, well, I'm not a preacher. Well, that's true of about 90% of believers. But that doesn't excuse 90% of the believers from being ambassadors. Simply, an ambassador is one who brings the message and delivers it. What is our message? Well, some say, well, I don't have a degree in theology. Well, I can tell you what, I do, and it doesn't make a lot of difference, because what people are looking for is an answer to the angst in their soul. And theology isn't going to answer that. I can tell you what can answer it: Jesus Christ. So you, when you come to Christ yourself, you know what has happened inside of you. You've been changed, you've been renewed, and you're being restored. And that's the hope that we are be taking to others. The hope of being reconciled, renewed, and restored. Well, that's the basic message of today's devotion. I want to encourage you, get the whole month of devotions, the whole book that's entitled Destroying Strongholds. We have that available for you on the web in a PDF file, free of charge. It's our gift to you. It's a ministry we perform, and here's how you can get it. Real simple. Go to this website, www.dailygodwalk.org. Daily God Walk is lowercase, all one word. www.dailygodwalk.org. There you'll find information on how you can get the Daily God Walk, the complete message of destroying strongholds, as well as about 40 some other devotionals. We are producing 48 separate devotionals that are 30 days or 31 days, designed for a whole month, and you'll be able to have a devotion every day of the month. And just go to that website, www.dailygodwalk.org. You'll find out all the information you need to know about that. If you want to order a hard copy, then it's available at a reasonable price. Just email us and we'll get you a copy. It's just that simple. This is Paul Smith again, saying God bless you, have a wonderful day, and rejoice because you have been reconciled to God, and submit yourself to be an ambassador of Christ and the message of hope that he brings to us. You be blessed.